Welcome, Alec. Alec is a junior at logistics at Ohio State, currently in Memphis, Tennessee, interning with William and Sonoma in warehouse operations. Welcome.
Hey, nice to be here.
Absolutely. So, give us a rundown. Why William and Sonoma, in your opinion?
While Williams Sonoma, I would first off just start by saying that it's a great company. Their core values lined up exactly with mine, and the internship program that they offer is extremely competitive with really any other program out there. They really work to help you out. They'll help you with your housing, they'll help you get down here, they'll help with the expenses, and they'll definitely have competitive pay with whatever other companies are offering. And from my first 2 weeks here in the warehouse, from talking to everybody and learning from what people have to say, everybody loves having interns there and loves teaching, and they love bringing in people even after their internships to start full time and eventually just work up into higher roles as they grow.
Yeah, you mentioned one of the biggest selling points for you was the amount of students that were interning and then that would turn into full time.
Yeah, definitely. We talked with a lot of them all together, the intern group, and we got to ask them whatever questions we wanted to. And just tons of interns come back and work with them, and they offer lots of jobs to interns. And that's definitely one of the main reasons why I think they bring in interns, is because they want to see what you have to offer for them in the future also, not only just for the 10-week internship itself.
Now, you heard about this internship position from a friend, correct? It was a guy you roomed with your freshman year, is that right? He told you about it, and then you applied. Did you meet them at the career fair, or did you just went in straight and applied?
I just went in and I didn't even apply, actually. He told me how to contact the recruiter, and I just went out and I emailed him right away. I actually found out I didn't apply after they offered me because they had to ask me to go in and actually submit the formal application. So, yeah, he just hooked me up with the contact, and it was all said and done from there.
And what you had to do? No, that's like that was a scenario of like, who do you know? So tell me about how it was a long interview process. So you reached out in October? You had a telephone conversation that was 30 minutes. Then you had two online interviews, which were 30 minutes. You didn't say they were behavioral, but they were kind of behavioral, and where they were talk about like what logistics was all about in your opinion, and kind of like talk about yourself. And it sounded like you guys kind of geeked out. But the question I wanted to ask is, what were some of the hard questions that you felt like you had to ask? I think there was one really around maybe a biggest.
Yeah, the toughest question I think they asked me was what my biggest challenge was, and how I went about that was, well, I guess I just really answered it honestly. And at the time, the biggest challenge I had been through was just really putting myself out there and deciding what I ultimately wanted to pursue with going to college and eventually starting a career. I have a lot of interests, and it was hard for me to just stand there and look at one thing and just say, this is what I want to try and do for the rest of my life. This is what I want to study. And really just taking that leap and analyzing myself and really taking the time to get to know myself to really decide what I wanted to do was a big challenge for me, and I can't complain. I really think I made the right decision in choosing logistics and Ohio State. It got me to where I'm at today, and we'll see where it gets me in the future too.
Now, how did you choose logistics exactly? Like, what are the things that you ask yourself?
Well, first I just really sat down and I asked myself what are my three favorite things, and one of them was just problem solving. And then the second was I really like business, and then the third was I just asked myself, what's my personality, who am I as a person, and what kind of work environment could I see myself being in for years to come. And it led me just to logistics. Ultimately, I love problem solving, systematic thinking, and organization, and saw it as the best fit.
One thing I really want to talk about, there's something that made you different from all the other candidates, and it's this story about how you became a TA. So can you quickly explain how you went about becoming a TA, what class you took?
Yeah, so as a freshman, I took the CSE 2111 at Ohio State. It's a core business requirement for all Fisher students, and I ended up just doing pretty well in the class. I really liked it, and at the end of the year, I remembered the professor talking about how you could become one of these teacher's assistants, and I was like, hey, that's something I would definitely be interested in. It'll pair excellently with my major. It'll be like a foot in the door with any company that is seeking somebody in a supply chain role. So I went ahead and I found the link to apply on the syllabus for the class.
Yep.
And after that, I got contacted the next year, a week or so before the school year started. So it took a while to hear back. But from there, they just offered me the position, and I've been doing it ever since. And I think it was just a big eye grabber from the start. Not only that I was interested in business, but I was interested in applying it in different types of technology.
So how does it read on your resume? Because you said it stands out. approximately? How does it?
Yeah, sure. It says Department of Computer Science and Engineering at The Ohio State University, closed lab Windows consultant.
Okay.
And then after that, I talk about how many students I'm dealing with a semester, what the exact course numbers were, and then 2 points below that, I just go into a brief summary of what the course is.
And was one of them SQL? What were the other courses?
Yeah, so the first course I did was the 2111, the one I took.
Yeah.
And then after that, they asked me if I wanted to do a different class, which was 1114.
Okay.
And that's not a business required course, but that's all access and a little bit of SQL. So I also got to help people out with that also.
So in the mind of the recruiter, my assumption is like they just thought you were an expert in that because if there's one to learn it, but it's another one to teach it.
Yeah.
And then and that's huge. And then like, that mindset is what you do on a day-to-day basis, not only for your internship but also in the corporate sector. So not only is Williams-Sonoma a game changer, you also said you actually had some help. There was a class, I think 2601 is a class you took your sophomore year. Can you explain what that was? Yeah,
sure. It was just a 1 credit hour elective. It was once a week, every Wednesday, and pretty much every week, different recruiters and different people from the Office of Career Management would come in and teach you really just about how to apply for jobs, how to network, how to really get yourself out there. And it really helped me out because I was taking it when I started the application process. So a lot of it was really fresh on my mind and I put a lot of effort into it and I got a lot out of it.
So that's a perfect hustle. Like take the class while you're actually doing your interview process as well. So it's like fresh on your mind. And then you can even ask the recruiters of these like large corps that are coming in to talk some questions that you might have come up. Well, how would you answer it? And then you can then just steal.
Yeah.
Not really steal, but like replicate their responses. And then you look like a genius.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, you could go ahead and even introduce yourself to a recruiter. Maybe it'll lead to an internship itself.
Yeah, before or after class, right? No, that's genius.
Yeah.
But that's
they encouraged it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been amazing. I think the key nugget I really like about this conversation is the fact that you took the initiative to become a TA, but then you really were focused on doing a TA course. That not was like a general requirement, but that was really specific in regards to what your career path is. So what makes you really unique in industry, something that's going to be lasting forever. That really kind of helped set you up for success for many years to come. So that's really cool. I want to thank you for your time, and I want to say good luck on your internship this summer.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you soon.
All right, you too.